Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings. We're broadcasting live from the backyard in Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Yesterday, we looked like we were dark silhouettes.
It was us, though.
So we changed. We don't have dark personas. I mean, I don't know
No.
if you do. I don't.
Yeah,
You?
I mean, I tan kind of dark in the summertime.
Oh.
But still,
Yes.
I try to.
So we switched 90 degrees, so you can see the doors behind us. The tarp, Cameron's play area is over there. We just switched
just
it
kind
up.
of lightened it up a little bit. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
totally. I
yeah.
mean, it's totally light now.
Different.
So
This
I
could
don't
be our angle
understand.
for a while.
I don't understand.
I don't
Maybe
know.
we get lights. We get a lighting system. Well, let's talk to the producers about that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to negotiate that probably. So probably take that
With
out of some
Baba
of our
and Skinny
contracts.
Girl. Yeah. Okay. All right. As reported by Fox News, 150 students at Stoughton Public Schools just out of Boston, Mass, will have to find a new way to get to school ahead of the academic year September 4th start date. That's a late start date, isn't it?
Yeah,
After
sounds like maybe
Labor Day?
traditional school, right?
Yeah.
That's how when I used to go to school,
Yeah,
we'd start right
yeah.
after Labor Day.
It's labor. So here we start like second week of August.
Yeah,
in
some
Southern
some
California,
places start earlier than that. So
So the Boston Herald first reported this. Fox picked it up. The news comes at the same time that the state has started paying for buses for the migrant students of the more than 200 migrant families that recently moved into their community, the Stoughton Public School District. Here is the Dear Parent letter from the district. Okay, this is what the district said. Unfortunately, for the upcoming 2024-2025 school year, 150 secondary students, secondary student is elementary. Middle school?
Yeah.
Middle school. Who signed up to ride a bus.
I think it's middle school. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and we've got a slide on there. Shows a little kid, then a first grader.
Then that's the photo that came. That'd be primary then.
That's the photo that came with it. Who signed up to ride a bus were not able to be placed on a bus. A letter sent to the parents from Superintendent of Schools Joseph Beta read, quote, those families not receiving bus transportation were notified this week. Those receiving bus transportation will receive their bus postcards the week of August 19th. We understand the feelings of disappointment and frustration this caused for the families who did not receive bus transportation, the letter added. We feel it is important to explain this situation to all our families to allow you to better understand how we arrived at this point.
Okay, so we're supplying busing to kids, and I guess they're calling migrants. I mean, are those kids that are maybe not even really supposed to be here? Are we talking about illegal aliens? Or are we talking about refugees maybe? Or is it all lumped together?
We're going to get into it. I mean, it's the people living at shelters and hotels.
Yeah.
Which probably
and that's usually a limited time, and that's a fine line. I mean, I got a little experience with that. I drove a school bus for about 12 years, so it's kind of frustrating. But anyway, so over 160 more students applied for bus transportation compared to the year before. This letter said
they started having kids and they went to school.
Yeah, or maybe some people moved in there. I don't know why, but they did. So because of budget restraints, the district has one less bus than last year. Okay, so that's like 60 to 80
Pack
kids.
Them in on the bus, man.
Yeah. The superintendent also said that there's a shortage of bus drivers. That doesn't surprise me, right? There's no requirement in the state of Massachusetts to provide transportation for students in the grades 7 through 12, which that's kind of common a lot of places.
So
I know we in our area and the district I drove for, there's like a 3 or 3.5 mile radius. If you lived within that radius, you walked or got a ride from your parents. So, and this deal, that's going to inconvenience a lot of parents because now instead of them taking a bus, now they're going to have to drive them
or ride their bike or
ride their
how's
bike,
that going to play out for kindergartners? Usually parents take kindergartners. They don't put them on the bus.
So this is for mainly middle school and high school kids.
Back in Michigan, we had kindergarten through 6. And then the rest was 7th through 12.
Yeah, we divided it up. We have middle school here, and then which is like 7 and 8, and then 9 through 12 is high school. So anyway, this is the district is required to provide busing to students living in hotels and shelters, the letter said.
That's the key right there.
Yeah, and that's kind of a weird situation. But, I I mean, it's
that's where they're putting illegals in hotels and shelters. Right?
Yeah, and it's limited, and I'm in our case, a lot of times those kids wouldn't show up. You'd send a special bus there. The kids wouldn't show up. It was an expense. I don't know. It was very kind of crazy. So, however, according to the superintendent, the arrival of migrant families in Stoughton is not the reason for the shortage of buses.
Yeah. Pray tell, what is?
Yeah. We are utilizing funding the state provides to the district to bus the students living in hotels and shelters. This letter said the funding for these 2 buses does not come from our operational budget. It is inaccurate to suggest that these children receiving busing is the reason yours did not. If we were not receiving the funding from the state for the students living in hotels or shelters, we would not be able to have these 2 additional buses. That's going to be a tough deal.
Can't you mix?
Well, I don't know. And I can also tell you, unless these shelters and hotels are close together, some of these kids are going to be getting up really, really early to get to school. Because we used to send buses directly to like one hotel. And a part of that reason was...
we're not talking 20 miles, are we?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the intercity. I don't know what... I don't know the logistics of Stoughton.
Boston.
So,
yeah.
But I know in our case, we would send buses there specifically to pick the kids up at the hotels or the shelters. Saves on some embarrassment, kids can be kind of cruel in that way. So anyway, yeah, these kids.
So are they segregated? Are we segregating?
Well, we're singling out, definitely singling them out. So
we shouldn't be segregating.
I can understand the embarrassment because I mean, kids,
do those kids cruel. Have to go to the back of the bus? The migrant kids?
Well, it sounds like depending on how many kids there are, would they say 150, 200 kids?
200 kids, yeah.
I don't know how they're going to get 200 kids on 2 buses unless they got some extra big buses.
Standing room only, right?
Yeah, you can't stand on the bus unless you're an instructor.
Huh.
Yeah.
Can you deputize them?
No.
No.
Yeah, can't do that. At least maybe it's different in Massachusetts. I don't know. California can't do that. So
the district indicated there wasn't much it could do to provide additional busing, but announced there would be an upcoming virtual forum where families could express concern or ask questions.
Oh, is that going to be like a board meeting? Like a board meeting where they turn into a domestic terrorist, right?
Well, no, it's virtual. It's like,
okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess they'll still be able to see who they are.
I guess the FBI could still raid your home unless you have a ramp. Then they won't go up the ramp for safety reasons, right?
Yeah. So maybe they didn't want them coming to the board meeting, right? That's why they're doing the Zoom.
Yeah, right? Maybe. That's right. They could get unruly. In a March letter issued by the Stoughton superintendent, he recognized the uptick in migrants as a contributor to financial pressures in order to accommodate this increase in our student population. We have had to make adjustments throughout the budget, he added. The situation remains fluid. Well, he knows all the words here. As we get more information and advocate for additional funding from the state, he knows the word speak, the craft. He does. Some parents took to Facebook to express their dismay at the news. So, quote, so how are 150 Stoughton students supposed to get to school now? Just got the word yesterday that our son, along with 149 other students, lost their seat on the bus. Talk about Stoughton pride, one parent said. They didn't even offer an alternative option, like maybe paying for a ride, which we would do because otherwise we have zero way of getting our son to school. I guess you could like ride share. I mean, get the moms together and ride share. This town is disgusting me. So my kid is supposed to walk 3 miles to and from school, straight up Route 138, uphill and in the snow.
Oh, they definitely get snow there.
And nor'easters, right?
Yeah, this is not one of those stories that I used to hear. So.
We live basically in Northeaston. I don't know where that is. What are all these families supposed to do? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's say you, Scott.
Fluid, huh? Fluid. That almost sounds like.
Here comes our friend.
He
was here yesterday too.
Don't urinate in my ear and tell me it's raining. That's pretty fluid. This sounds like a bunch of baloney. It just sounds like a bunch of baloney. Invest in a couple more buses and fine. If you got to pick these kids up pick up the kids that, that are established there.
To be compassionate, the kids need to get to school.
I get that.
They need
I get that.
But it's like
all the kids need to get to school.
All this, it's like a magnet to get illegals to come to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, They offer incentives. They offer, this is just one small tiny, but it's necessary. But these incentives all across the United States come flock to us, and we'll give you freebies or whatever. And, they just bum rush the border.
And we, the people,
foot the bill.
We pay for it and suffer because we don't get the same service.
Your taxpayer dollars.
Yeah. Something wrong.
Definitely wrong. I mean, I've got a heart, and I think they need to get to school, but this is maybe they can come, like you said, maybe if they pay for it, but that would be egregious. If the parent paid for, I guess. But
there's got to be some skin in the game sometimes,
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
Carpooling. You could do carpooling.
When you do stuff for free, you get a free mentality. People don't value it. And I know when we would send a bus sometimes to pick up kids at shelters or hotels, sometimes they wouldn't be there. And sometimes we had to travel a fair distance. And that's an expense, whether you're there, the kid's there or not. I mean, and they didn't think about calling and saying, hey, my kid's not coming to school today. You don't need to worry about sending the bus.
Poor little kid. He's not going to be able to. Is he going to walk in the snow?
Yeah, you're gonna turn that kid away right there?
I mean, he's looking so expectantly to get on the bus. Like, maybe it's his first one. Maybe it's his 10th one. I mean,
he's been looking forward all summer to riding the school bus.
And now, boo, the superintendent is gonna rain on his parade. Going to ruin his summer camp.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Sorry. I had a master sergeant in E8. We were doing the training on the East Coast. Said, because I told him not to do something. He's a senior NCO. He should know better. And he says, trying to rain on my summer camp. Well, this isn't summer camp. It's training for war, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, that brought back some good memories there.
I don't know. Hopefully this is not happening in your town.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care. Have a good day.
Yep.